YouTube people, remember, I don't know, 2 weeks ago when I had a little breaking news video talking about Tops is getting in the Dutch auctions and they're also going to bring back first day issue as a first off the line knockoff? Well, here we sit. Much confusion around this today, as initially Topps Social posted that Dutch auctions were coming this week, and they were not clear that it was first day issue. It just showed a box of Topps Chrome, no other information about it. And that got myself and some others on the internet fired up that they were doing a Dutch auction release for Topps Chrome, what was assumed regular hobby boxes. We find out later in the day that it is a Dutch auction, but it is for these first day issue boxes. I have to give some credit here. We'll talk about this in a second. Mike Nesson, all-star level reply. FDI, financially devastating item. Love it. These are starting at $3,500 with the price going down every 3 minutes. This is happening at noon Eastern on Thursday. Here's the details. Basically, it's a jumbo box. However, there are two exclusive parallels. There is a tricolor. Boy, that sounds like Panini, doesn't it? Limited to 8. And a silver. That's right, a silver. Numbered to 12. So you basically get 2 extra cards on top of a regular jumbo box. Now, how much extra are these going to go for? An out of 8 and an out of 12 on a pretty big checklist. Regular jumbos are going for $1,000. My thought process is we're going to see exactly what happens on first off the line. And this is something that Run Good Life has talked about till he's blue in the face, where essentially what's going to happen here, breakers are going to swoop in and gobble these things up at a much higher price than what they should actually go for. 1, to help protect the floor value, and 2, because they have a way to offload the product as a microtransaction. So even at an increased price, they can still move off of it, and it could maybe even impact the value of regular Topps Chrome jumbos. If these sell out at an extremely high amount, it might make even the jumbo boxes look like a more appealing purchase. So the question is, how much extra is an out of 8 and an out of 12 worth? If you hit the right players, it could be worth an absolute metric ton. You know, how many players in the set is that? You could probably look at the checklist and break that down. Most of, let's say, most of the major rookies, so there's 5 or 6 of those. And then you have the vets, Luka, Curry, Wemby, LeBron. Actually, I forgot to look. Luka might not even be on the checklist now that I think about it. But regardless, there is a handful of vet players along with the rookies that are probably going to sell for big money if you happen to hit one of them. Now, can you hit one of them? Will you hit one of them? That's to be seen. That's all well and good. Listen, they could put whatever hits in this thing that they want. They could call it first day issue, which is a throwback to, I believe, a Topps Stadium Club. But let's call this what this is. This is basically a Panini knockoff product with first off the line. Hell, they even stole 2 of their parallels in tricolor and silver and are just slapping numbers on them. My issue here is not necessarily the product or the configuration. It is how they are selling it. I cannot stand Dutch auctions. I think it is the most consumer unfriendly way to sell a product that anyone has ever thought of. Because most people are going to get left feeling like they got punched in the face because they paid more for it than somebody else. It's also feeds into FOMO, plays right in the FOMO, plays right into the current state of things where breakers control the secondary market on wax, and it gives them another outlet to run absolutely wild on this because they have the capabilities to spend way more on this product than what it should probably actually go for because of what we talked about before. They can essentially manipulate the price of it. The higher it sells out at, the more they're going to charge for it on the break, and then the more impact it potentially has on a regular Topps Chrome product. And we have a track record of this. We have seen it. Like I said, Run Good Life has talked about this forever. People do this with Panini releases left, right, and center. Now, you may ask, what would be a better way to sell this? One, just put a price on it and throw it up at EQL. And at least everyone has a fair shot at whatever you price it at. And I don't know what the appropriate price is. Maybe it's double what a Chrome box sells for. I'm going to guess these probably sell out between $1,500 and $2,000. I know that's a wide range, and that's just a gut. I could be completely off on that. But let's say they put them up EQL for $1,500. Every single one of them would sell, and at least everyone has a fair shake at it, and everyone is paying the same amount. Now, and I don't want to get into the big details on this because it could be a little tricky to explain. If you're going to sell it in a Dutch auction, and I know he's a lightning rod in the hobby, and say what you will. I get it. A lot of people don't like Zero Cool. But if you're going to do this, if you really want to sell in a Dutch auction format or a format like this, in a Dutch auction adjacent, use the version that Luber, I don't know if he came up with it or stole it from someone else or borrowed it or whatever. Use that method. Use that method. It is a much more fair way of selling this stuff in this type of format. If I think about it, maybe I'll include the clip from a video way back when Zero Cool first launched. They did this for the Gary V very, very first release. And take the product aside, I get it. People hate Gary V, they hate Zero Cool, they hate Josh Luber. Remove all that stuff. I'm just talking about the method that he had for selling cards. It was actually not that terrible the way that it worked. And like I said, I'll try to insert the clip here at some point that walks through exactly how it worked because he explained it better than I am going to.
Ready to buy cards on Zero Cool? We use something called a blind Dutch auction, and we believe it's the fairest way to buy trading cards online. It's actually dead simple. All you do is tell us how much you're willing to pay, and we take care of the rest. If there's a box of cards you've got your eye on, simply head to the product page and place a bid for the most you're willing to pay. All the bids are hidden. No FOMO here. Once the auction ends, we match the number of boxes available to each of the highest bids. So, if there's 10 boxes available, then the top 10 highest bids win, and no one else is charged. The lowest of the winning bids becomes the clearing price, and everyone pays the clearing price, no matter what you bid. So, if you bid $1,000, but the clearing price is only $300, then you only pay $300 for your cards. Pretty cool, right? With this type of release, a true blind Dutch auction, the market sets the price, not us. And almost everyone pays less than their initial bid. Transparency, equal access, and a fair process. That's what we're building at Zero Cool.
So that's how Zero Cool did it. That actually doesn't seem that bad. That seems like a smart way to sell a limited release product. If you want to do this kind of nonsense, Ruben, Mahan, Tops, whoever the hell else is listening out there, don't do these stupid ass Dutch auctions that literally, outside of people in the Tops boardroom, nobody likes these things. Nobody out there likes it. Maybe some breakers like it, but I would be willing to bet a vast majority of your customer base hates these damn things. And yet, and you have that feedback. You watched Panini folks run these, and everyone bitch about them every time they run one. And then here you come along, stealing a page out of their playbook. And you're playing right into the narrative of big, bad, evil Tops. Oh, they're the big, bad monopoly. Here they are, just doing exactly what Panini did, not doing anything different. Learn from past mistakes. Yes, maybe you leave a little money on the table. You're probably printing money on this product anyway. At least this is fair. I am sure people will pick this apart too. They will hate it. I prefer this even over an EQL, the zero cool method, the Luber method, what blind Dutch auction, whatever you want to call it. That to me seems like the best way to sell a limited release product. Like I said, I like it better even than EQL because I at least have some control over it, because I could place the price that I am willing to bid on it. At least try it with a release, see how it goes. I know people hate this. I know that for a fact. And I know you guys have the ability to do this because you've done it before. You did it with the Zero Cool release. That video is from 2022, I believe. Let me find it. March 9th, 2022. So 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, really. You have the tool in your toolbox to be able to sell a product like this if you want, in a more controlled nature, a more blind process, if you will. Use that. Don't use these stupid ass Dutch auctions. I would love to sit here and tell you all, oh, I could get on my little soapbox and high horse. Nobody go out there and bid on this. Nobody buy it. We'll show them. But we all know, one, that's just never going to happen. People are too greedy. They will see too good of a deal and they'll be like, oh man, I'm getting a steal on this. I am bidding. And feed right into it. This, to me, is the most anti-customer, anti-consumer, anti-collector way to sell a product. It just absolutely is a regular Dutch auction. If you want to do this, do the blind Dutch auction or set a damn price and run it at EQL. Absolutely nobody enjoys a Dutch auction except for your accountants. And I get it. That's what it's all about. That is what matters. You're just playing into whatever you are, what everyone thought you were. You had a chance to potentially be different. We gave you, some of us gave you the opportunity. Most didn't. Most people called this right from the beginning. This is not a great way to sell a product. Change going forward. I'll, give you a pass on this one, see how it goes. But I know what's going to happen. You're going to run it back again on Sapphire or the next big release that you're going to do first day issue on. Maybe they're going to limit this just to first day issue, whatever. But if you want to do a Dutch, there is a better way to do it. Do the blind, not the regular Dutch auction. It sucks. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. What is your preferred buying method for a product like this? Do you want them to just release it like they did Topps Chrome Jumbo at a price and it's the Wild West and nobody actually gets to check out because bots eat? Do you want an EQL drop? Do you want a regular Dutch auction like they're going to do? Or do you want the blind Dutch auction or something different? Fire off in the comments down below. Maybe someone from Topps will see it. I doubt they'll actually do anything. Catch boys and girls on the next one. Peace.